Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 31st of May. So, as we approach the last day of the month, we could be already seeing it, but we may have some adjustments coming through on currencies, etc. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, it is the end of this quarter as well, isn't it? No, it's not. We've got one more month of the quarter. Thinking May, the end of the quarter, but we may still have some end of month adjustments today, so just something to bear in mind. It may make our technicals go out of precision at times. Anyway, for now, let's look. Actually, let's come back, look at the dailies here. What's been going on? Well, Euro continues the south side, the descent. Heading back towards those absolute lows, maybe at 1106, sort of 1106, 1108 even. We just sort of, every time we get down to this, there's a sort of spiky area. There's a supply and demand. There's maybe a bit of demand kicking around these lows, but not overly convincing. Very small day of range yesterday, as we've seen for some time. It's quite tight in range at times, and well, consolidation, you can see the consolidation that's sitting there. That was pretty much yesterday. Where to today? Well, as I say, we could see some changes in price action a little bit, maybe, but for now my preference is still on the downside of these markets. Whether you look at the Euro here or the pound, I'm going to be looking at the same sort of downside preference. Now, it may be that I may not take it on the break of the trend line, but look at something that's above here, maybe back into this 60-minute 50. We'll see how the price reacts at that level. Not necessarily shorting immediately it hits there, but looking at price action, and we'll have a look. But I'm not sure, as I say, with the Euro, the problem we have, it's like yesterday, was it 20 something pips, 25 pips, 26 pips, 27 pips yesterday. So realistically, even if I was to get in pretty close at 50, it's only a 20 pipper. It did turn out okay yesterday in the end, there to the downside there, but difficult getting into some of these, but we'll see. The pound, well, similar basis really, not too dissimilar. Continued, actually broke the previous lows again yesterday, so continuing pushing south. Again, month end flows, we'll see if they affect us too much. And yes, there's divergences kicking across here, but we're still in that sort of pretty selling weak position for the pound. And sometimes you sort of look at technicals, you think, well, okay, the technicals say this, but realistically, fundamentally behind here we have problems, because there's no deal sorted out or anything sorted out on Brexit. There's a government in disarray, there's opposition in disarray, it's looking like it could all become a real mess. So on that basis, well, I'm just sort of, whatever the technicals are telling me here, I'm thinking, well, it's still got potential to continue to the downside. But as I say, my end of month money flows may change that a little bit. But again, looking at these sort of line trends here, I mean, it worked out eventually yesterday. Again, it sort of just took a bit of chop. It shot off a bit quick yesterday, which didn't get me in on that initial move, which was rather disappointing. But it did come back, fortunately, and gave a second chance of trading that move down towards the S1. But it's what for today, similar sort of price action maybe. Look at what's happening here. It's all around its daily pivot at the moment. If it starts breaking out, I still will not chase these markets first thing. So it's worth just hanging in there, see what happens. And there is some points to be made, even on this lower volatility. There's points to be made with the pound at the moment, and there's unlikely anything to come out of it that's positive to give us any positive shocks the other way. Dollar yen, with the yen seeing the strength expected, and it's really pushed through that overnight there. Chinese manufacturing data came out in continuing its fall off there. It's from 49.9 forecast. Previous was at 50, but it's gone into contraction at 49.4, which is not a shock at all with what was going on with trade tensions, etc. So and that's had a knock-on effect in terms of money running into the yen there as well. So yen, well, it may provide some sort of retracements. Sorry, I just need to flip back here. Yesterday didn't really set too much up at all. It took ages before anything really moved with the yen, and it was too late for most traders. In fact, it pushed up quite strongly there in the afternoon. But for now, well, selling off retracements are needed for me on the yen to look at any potential shorts. And of course the yen pairs as well. So if you're looking across other pairs such as the euro yen, here still would like to see a similar picture. I just want to see a retracement, or indeed the pound yen, wherever you've gone. There it is on my list. The pound yen, similar picture here. Weakness, nice big movements, plenty of volatility, but I need to see retracements in these to be shorting them. Okay, that's the yen. We don't cover the Aussie. Let's cover the Aussie if I can. Oh, I've crashed my computer. Just 1 second. Lucky there's a pause button on these computers. Right, okay, so Aussie dollar daily picture here, still, well, not going really anywhere too much, and as I said, if anything, I still think it can roll further. It's just consolidated. What a week, look. It's starts off here at, and is pretty much totally range driven. Now, when it gets like this, of course, there's a chance it could flip it and push towards the high sides of that and beyond, because there'll be a whole bundle of stops sitting above it. So there's a potential for that. Whether I believe in any upside was probably not at the moment. And in fact, with the situation in China, etc., which has a knock-on effect to countries like Australia, which supplies the raw material, some of the raw materials, it's not looking good. So at this juncture, well, looking for the downside movements potentially. Now it's choppy as anything, ugly as sin. I'll leave that one alone. I do most days, but I just thought I'd have a look at it just to be fair. Canadian dollars continue to try and push upwards. So yesterday, well, tried to get back into range, but you can see the high lows, higher highs here, and really, okay, it's double top, maybe with some divergence around these highs here, may just pull back in. It's really on the road to nowhere, it seems. And well, maybe if you may only need a small stop on this and you're keen to short it, there's possible potential there. No, it's not my cup of tea, the Canadian dollar, so we'll leave that clear. And I'm going to just finish up here on the S&Ps, and well, the S&Ps really just continuing. Had a little rally yesterday and held up for a little while, but at one stage I thought it was going to do a bit of a reversal on the cash market. Well, it did do a bit of a reversal on the cash market. In fact, I can flick to the cash market very quickly. S&Ps, there we go. And there was this little gap showing on the reversal. No gap yesterday. Sorry, it was the previous day. This gap was still. There was a little gap. It did actually come down and close that gap. Sorry, but maybe off this support area that it's got on the cash, it may hold on there. Let's go back to the futures. My preference. It's already broken the 200. And really into its monthly S3 area, which may just provide support here still. We'll see. It's saying that it's looking soft at the moment, and well, may just see some continuation. I think there's an edge of divergence going on here with this price action, but certainly we'll want to be catching the knife at the moment across that 4 hourly, and maybe even the hourlies coming down. Potential divergence if it pitches a little bit lower. Do I like it? No, I just think it's bearish. Would I want to be trying to play opposite side of this? Not really. I just would like to, if it does bounce from any of these points, I'd just like to see if we set up and get some shorts on it. At the moment, as I said yesterday, I'm bearish on it for now. Money flows are coming out from the big money, the asset managers tipping their positions, and they're normally a sign of something that's more to come. So there we go. Anyway, that's it for today. News-wise, we don't have a lot now. 1:30 this afternoon. We got some inflation data from Germany running through this morning. Runs through most this morning. It's may have a bit of an effect if it comes in particularly light, but or vice versa. It may just give the euro a little bit of a chipper there, but not massively significant at this stage. Canadian dollar, we've got some news at 1:30. GDP, it's a monthly figure. It doesn't give much in the way of volatility often, but it gives a bit, maybe enough to snatch you out of a trade. Side of that, US dollar core, personal spending, that's actually, although it's only an orange on the Forex Factory, etc., personal spending coming out there at 1:30 now, and core price index, those both could be important. Personal spending is important because last time we had a low retail sales, so it'd be interesting to see if this is giving anything different, and so there could be a bit of volatility around 1:30. That is it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.